Good evening and welcome to Friday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, voters deliver a resounding no to an elected mayor in both Birmingham and Coventry.
For months now, high-profile Labour politicians have been jostling for the right to fight for the role of mayor in Birmingham. But their hopes lie in tatters tonight.
So why did voters in the two cities turn their backs on a new style of politics? Well, in a moment, we'll be live with our political editor, Patrick Burns. But first, here's Kath Mackey.
At 3:30 a.m, Coventry said no to an elected mayor.
This is how the council is run now. 39,400.
More than 39,000 people voted against the Prime Minister David Cameron's big idea. That's double the number that voted for. And the no campaign was triumphant.
I predicted at least 60% of the people that voted would say no to an elected mayor, and 63% have done that. So I'm feeling quite ecstatic tonight, tired but ecstatic.
But turnout was dismally low. Just 26% of people bothered to vote. So was it apathy or a protest? The Conservatives, who've championed elected mayors, were contrite.
I think there's been obviously issues over the last couple of months from the whole of the coalition government, particularly the budget, that have obviously cost us seats here tonight and votes across the city.
The counting of the referendum papers will now commence.
And today all eyes were on the yellow papers being counted in Birmingham as the votes for and against an elected mayor piled up. Both Labour and the Tories backed the idea. Not surprising really, because an elected mayor in England's second city would be one of the most powerful politicians in the country.
Our intention is to hold the first mayoral election on November the 15th.
It was back in January that the government chose Birmingham to showcase its plans for elected mayors, and potential candidates lined up.
I'm announcing today that if the city votes yes for a mayor in May, then I will seek to be Labour's candidate.
I stood down from Parliament 2 years ago to campaign for an elected mayor for Birmingham.
If there's a yes in the referendum, then
I will definitely put yourself forward.
Then I will put my name forward.
Tory big guns like Lord Heseltine was sent to the city to convince voters, and David Cameron too weighed in.
In the end, it will be for the public to decide, do you want to have city mayors? My personal view is that having great cities need great leaders.
Well, the public decided all right, but in Birmingham, like Coventry, they voted no to an elected mayor.
What the people of Birmingham have said is they want a system with accountability, one that doesn't just appoint a dictator and let them get on with it for 4 years.
Well, I'm personally disappointed because I've always believed that a mayor of Birmingham would be great for the city.
Well, both sides of the debate are at this reception in Birmingham tonight, but for the Yes campaign, this champagne probably tastes a bit flat. They were confident of a win, but it's a night of election rejection. Kath Mackey, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
Well, our political editor, Patrick Burns, is at the Birmingham mayoral count now. Patrick, what's reaction then to this no vote?
Well, already, Sarah, certainly among supporters of the idea of a directly elected mayor, the recriminations have started, and some of them are actually blaming the government for blurring this referendum in with local elections as they see it, which deprived the mayoral debate of its sharp focus, which they think it was entitled to. I'm joined now by the former Labour MP for Birmingham Erdington, Sean Simon, who stood down at the last election specifically to concentrate on campaigning for this role. Where has it all gone wrong, Sean?
I don't blame anybody else, but nobody ultimately ever explained to ordinary Brummies what this was all about. Not the government, not the council, not the business community, not the political parties. Nobody told people what it was about, and it was not surprising in those circumstances that ordinary Brummies voted no.
Do you not think that the Yes campaigners were a bit complacent, though, and failed to get the message out, took it as read almost that people were going to vote for it?
It's a complicated business. It's a difficult message. A guy stopped me on the bus this morning. He said, oh, I voted no. We talked about it for 90 seconds, and he said, I wish I'd voted yes. I said, well, it's too late now, mate.
Fundamentally, there's a big rejection of politics and politicians here, isn't there?
There is, and there's also a rejection of Conservative austerity government, which has left people feeling depressed and bedraggled and lacking in the optimism that you need to embrace change.
What next for you? Because obviously you've set much aside. What do you do now?
Well, I stood down from a safe seat in Parliament from the Labour government specifically to campaign for this 2 years ago. I spent 2 years doing it, and obviously on a personal level it's a big blow, but we've assembled a massive team, an extraordinary new coalition in Birmingham who passionately believe in change, and we're going to keep going somehow.
Sean Simon, thank you. Also with us is Professor Mick Temple of Staffordshire University. What do you make of this? It's a rejection of the new politics?
Well, I think what we see is very low turnout, a really crucial vote for Birmingham's future, and the people have rejected it. I think the Yes campaign failed to sell the message. They got that early populist poll a couple of months ago, which seemed to suggest they were going to win. The Chamber of Commerce supported it. I think they thought they were going to win until the very last moment. And it wasn't until perhaps Respect came in that we saw a recognition that they weren't going to win this vote. Very, very sad day, I think, for Birmingham.
Well, that's a debate that will be had, no doubt. Mick Temple, Sean Simon, thank you. I must say, as all the paraphernalia of the count are packed away, really brings it home to you. This is the great mayoral debate that never was.
Patrick, thank you very much.
Well, away from the mayoral battle, voters across the West Midlands gave their verdict in local council elections.